All right. First of all, Happy New Year to everybody. All right. Okay. Open up for questions.
Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. Matt, how difficult has this season been for the defense?
Yeah, I think it's been difficult for everybody. I think that our hope was that we're going to be in the playoffs and be in the hunt, and that didn't come to fruition. But it's be where your feet are and just constant improvement every single day and coaching the guys, and that's where really where we are, and finishing strong, in this game here against New York. So that's where our focus is. But certainly disappointing. It's not what we saw coming down the road. So
You've been in this business a long time as a head coach, coordinator. Do you feel like your job is on the line here? This head into the offseason?
Yeah, I mean, I knew you were going to get a couple of those questions, and it's really my mindset has always been the same. It's 1 week at a time, 1 day at a time, and you're focusing on coaching your players, getting them in the best positions, and teaching them the scheme. Whether it's first or second down or the third down that we're doing today, but that's always been my focus.
Clarence Hill, DLS Cowboys. How much ownership do you take with the struggles of the defense?
Yeah, ownership and accountability is right with me. I mean, I'm the defensive coordinator, so it's always that. So if there's things that need to be improved, it falls on the coach, and then it falls on the assistant coaches, and then working with the players and making sure that they're doing the best we can to put them in position. So I take full accountability for that.
Obviously, you didn't expect the season to go as it has, and certainly the defense to play as it has. What has gone wrong?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the start of the year we were, guys were in and out, in terms of we're at full force. And then when we did get some guys back, I thought we had a good stretch there. I thought the stretch was pretty good, started to improve. I know we've improved in the run defense and the third down defense. And then, from there we just, didn't execute the way we wanted to at certain moments. Certainly some good execution in there at times. But again, it's got to be better.
When you took the job, I think you had a certain expectation who was going to be on the team and how you wanted to play. How much did that change at the start of the season when Michael left?
Yeah, I don't know if it changed that much. Obviously you have an all-pro pass rusher that wins really quick. That's certainly going to help any defense. If it's Micah or if it's Miles or whoever that might be, that impact player is always going to help. To a certain degree, in pass downs and other downs, but. Again, you can't look back, right? It is what it is, and then you just focus on where you are.
Matt, Todd Archer with ESPN. What's disappointed you the most?
I just think that we wanted to see more progress during the course of the year, and it was just more. It was more up and down. It just wasn't linear. And you'll have some of that. During the course of the year where you're starting to stretch at a good stretch right there, having some good games, and then you'll have a little dip, and then you'll spike back up. So just that's probably the biggest thing.
A lot of time people talk about after-action reports and things. Yeah. Is there a part of you that's already kind of started to go through that at all to see where the disconnect has been? Because track record suggests you've been a good coordinator, position coach, and things like that, and then it's just not happened. Have you done any of that?
Yeah, you always do that. You're always looking at those things, throughout the course of the year, always doing self-scouts, always looking to see where you can improve, move players around, with who you have available, and then move the scheme around. So you're always doing that every single week.
John Machado with The Athletic. Why do you think things didn't work out with Trayvon Diggs?
Yeah, it's I'll just really, say what Shotty said yesterday, because I believe that's how we all feel. We wish him the best, number one. In Green Bay, and then sometimes things just don't work out. It's just, performance-based, other elements and different things like that. But, sometimes it just doesn't work out. And sometimes when a guy gets a fresh start, it's a good thing, for him. And that's just where it is.
And when you talk to the team this week, what do you want to see from the defense in this season finale?
Yeah, energy. I want to see energy. I want to see physical play. I want to see all 11 playing together. Every single snap, and passion. I want to see that. I want to see energy and passion, and all 11 playing together.
Nick Harris, Forward Star Telegram. Our first opportunity to talk to you about the Logan Wilson issue is him not getting on the field. Can you just kind of explain what happened from your point of view?
Yeah, I mean, it's already been said 100 times. It wasn't intentional. There was 21 plays in the first half, and it's just kind of got away from us in the second half there, in terms of the rotation. It wasn't intentional. We talked to Logan about it, so.
Obviously, there's going to be a lot of evaluations after the season, not only your job, but the entire staff. What positives would you draw on in those conversations from this season?
Yeah, you always want to learn and grow. That's the biggest thing. Every single week you want to learn and grow and improve as a coach, as a human being, and I'll take that as the same. It'll be just learn and grow, and how can you improve?
Tommy.
Tommy Harsh, DallasCowboys.com. Most years you've been a defensive play caller. Your team has been towards the top of the league in turnovers this year. What do you think hasn't gone your way in terms of taking the ball away?
Yeah, that's a great question. Because we're hammering at it, in practice and doing a good job with, in terms of being intentional and all the things that I've done in the past and we've done in the past to create that large number. And for whatever reason, it just didn't happen, And again, I told the guys this week, I was showing them some different things in the meeting, and this is the opportunity for this game, So we got to do a great job this game. That's all we can control of how we act and how we are intentional about it in practice. Guys were good at it yesterday, and you just got to keep pounding the rock.
And then this time around, when you play the Giants, you have a different quarterback. What's different about Dart and what they do with him there versus earlier in the year with Russ?
Yeah, I think he's a special guy, young player. I think he's got really good instincts. I think he's very gritty, and he's a guy that can really take off and run sometimes. In the pocket. Certainly in situational ball, and then they also have the college runs that are in there. I know they haven't done as many as they've done in the past. Since his injury, but they certainly have it in there for situational ball and other times too. But quick, got good speed. I think he gets the ball out of his hands, relatively quick. So I think he's a really good young player.
Garrett.
Garrett Burrell, CBS Sports. Matt, when you kind of look back on this year, what would be one thing that you would do differently, maybe if you had the opportunity to?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think about it that way. I think about being in the moment and just keep adjusting and learning and growing and getting better. I don't think I'd do anything differently. I think I would just, work to adjust, when you get different players in and all those things. And I think that's what you do as a coach.
And how have you learned from being up in the box the last few games? Has it been an experience that you'd like to continue going forward, or kind of what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it was good. You're up there, you can see things, you can see it unfold, you can make your adjustments. I think it's been great, and I'm comfortable either way, and it's been good up there.
Anything else? Oh.
Yeah, Christy Scales, Cowboys Radio 105.3. Back to Jackson Dart one more time. Have they throttled back on his runs? I mean, there's been a lot of criticism to him personally in terms of maybe putting himself at risk.
The numbers would say that. The numbers would say that. I think they had 35 runs in the first 7 games, and I think since that point, I think it's been around 6 or 7. But again, it's always there. It's always there. So you got to have your responsibilities, in terms of who has the running back, who has the quarterback disconnect, and we're working diligently on that.
I don't know what you guys put on PFF grades on players and things like that, but Kenneth Murray's 81 out of 86 on their grades. What has he done throughout the year to continue to be on the field as much as he's been?
Yeah, I think Kenneth and Logan, are both guys that are working to learn the mic position, and they're doing a good job in terms of communication. And it's not just him. There's other players that we all wish we would play better and and perform better and coach him better and all those things. But he's done a good job in his communication, and he's had some decent games. He's had a couple game balls. He's played really well in a few games, and I love Kenneth. In terms of his leadership and where he's been in terms of that. And then Logan's got here mid-stroke, and he's still working to learn the scheme, and he's getting better every week too.
With Overshown, do you anticipate him being available to you this week as this goes forward?
Yeah, we're still working through that. He was out there yesterday. We'll see what happens today, and then kind of work through it from there.
And from what he's been able to do this year for his future where do you see it coming back from the injury? Everybody talks about it's the second year off of it.
Yeah.
What do you think he can be?
I think he can be outstanding. I think Overshone is a heck of a talent. I think he's got that will linebacker, the quickness and instincts and the striking ability and the speed to be able to cover, running backs, tight ends, and cover space. And that's where he is. And I think he's a playmaker. And I think he's got a heck of a future in front of him.
One more from Calvin.
Upon reflection, do you think your scheme has been flexible enough for the personnel you've had this year?
Yeah, flexibility is always going to be there, right? You're always going to flex to the 5 down fronts or flex to your coverages that work for your guys that are in there, and it's important that you do adjust. So yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.